G'day, folks. How we going? Sean here from the Down Under Cruises. Having some fun with some technology again that needs a bit of a kick up in the rear end. But we'll get there. Welcome aboard. Nice to have everybody here. First in the chat was young Michael Ann. Welcome aboard, Michael Ann. Followed very closely by the governor. How are you, Gov? Welcome aboard. Nice to have you guys here. We got Stream Elements in there saying g'day. Excuse me. Well, folks, how are we? How's our week been so far? What can we say that's different? Not much. Oh, well, we had an interesting weekend. On Sunday, my nephew got married. So because he got married, we had the whole family here. We even had some family members over from the US. Anyway, suffice it to say, wedding went down really well. It went down so well that, family members did go over to Noosa, which is a place in Queensland. It's a holiday place up in northern Queensland. Look it up on the map, those of you that don't know. And we had such a great time that we even had some additional guests join us. At least 5 of the community right now are down with the dreaded lurgy. I won't mention its name, so there we go. I will keep it nice and personal. Well, if it isn't the birthday boy, happy 31st, young man. And I will say, happy Labor Day to your mother. I know that you're going to be on your trip very soon. So there we go. That's awesome. And Michael Ann is saying that she's not much younger than me. Well, yeah, but you are. You're still younger than me anyway. And for anybody from the New Hampshire area lurking in the background that doesn't want to put their head up and say, "G'day, it's me," I'm just sipping on a cup of coffee in a New Hampshire mug that was given to me by some people from the New Hampshire area. Nice coffee. Too bad you guys can't taste it. Anyway, so they're away at Noosa and are suffering the ill effects of the COVID, as well as my beloved son, who was one of the people there. So, yeah, not fun. But anyway, it is what it is. And so we've got to live with what we got. So, rest of the week is panning out to be an interesting week. We see who's actually in for the count and who's not in for the count. So there we go. Now, Nick is saying that it's 49 days till he flies away, and everybody, and Michael Ann is wishing that everybody feels better soon. So thank you very much, Michael Ann. And 49 days away till your European flight, Mr. Nick. That should be a bucket load of fun. And yes, all the best to the family. Thank you very much. Well, the wedding was a blast. The bride and groom were thrown high into the sky, and they were caught safely. So, yep, it was fun. They enjoyed it. Nice way to send them off. So, what's in the background? In the background, I've got the Carnival Pride, and I'm bringing that up because you will see the logo there of Fantastic Cruising. As you all know, Kenny had the most amazing cruise, the inaugural Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. Fantastic Cruising are holding their group cruise on the 12th of March of next year, going through to the 19th. And on that cruise, we will have James and his wife, Cindy Catanese, having their being fortunate to be the recipients of the Helping Hands for Cruising cruise. So this will be amazing. And yes, they're going to have some awesome time. Um, and for those of you that are not aware, young Mr. Kenneth Oakes, his father was in hospital, was then sent out to a rehab facility where he will be for quite some time, I believe. And in that process, there is a a cleanup process being put on by um, another one of their helping hands for cruising board members, Crystal from Destinations Delight, and she's put together a collection so that people can donate. And I would suggest go over to it's called Kenny's Support Team, and you'll find that in Facebook. There is a Facebook link there. Go in there, you can have a look, see, and then if you wish, you can donate to that charity. And what they're looking for is, well, Kenny's place is going to have to be totally emptied out and then totally revamped, refixed up, and new stuff put in there. Michael Ann says that it is Kenny's Kingsport project that you will find on Facebook. That's the best way to do it. Just go out there and have a look, see, and see what you can ascertain, and everything will pan out well because young Mr. Kenny will be able to sort things out for him. Clean up the place, make it nice and habitable, fix up whatever breakages there are, and get everything working and up and running. So that's the plan. Anyway, we are having a look. StreamYard is saying some amazing things there. It's saying, welcome to Humpday with the Down Under Cruisers. Please support our channel so we can support Helping Hands for Cruising. So the more people we can get on board, chucking in some dollars, the more we can actually get some more people out there on a cruise. And so we're looking for some more recipients. Not only that, we are looking for some more cruises to put recipients on. So that'll be fun. Okay. Nick had a decision to make. He could have taken today off work, or he could be in London for a full day in January. He picked being in Europe and an extra day over having his birthday off from work. Well, mate, you're having the best birthday present ever. And that best birthday present is having time away somewhere else. I reckon that's great. After 30, he doesn't really care about having the day off anymore. Well, you know what? It's a day. When you get to ancient 61 like me, it's just another day. So enjoy the time you have, my friend. And if you can convert it into time away in a place like London or wherever, I'd rather go with having an extra day if I could. All right. Now, I know that for you across the pond, it is really, really early. The time here is 8:10 in the evening. In Miami, it tells me it's 4:10. In London, you're just busy getting home from work there, Gov, so it's 9:10. If you stay ahead, awesome. If you don't, I understand that you're ready for bed. Mark-Alan, you're in Eastern Standard Time, aren't you? At any rate, let's have some fun. Let's talk about happy things. And as far as I understand, Kenny had an absolute blast last night on the show that was put on by Crystal from Destinations Delight. I believe, Michael-Ann, you were there having a bit of fun in that particular chat, and I believe some serious money was raised at that chat. Nick, it's 3:11 in Central Time. You're still in Central, yeah? Michael-Ann fell asleep and woke up at 3 a.m. Well, thank you very much, Michael-Ann. Glad you joined us. But I do know that Crystal raised a bucket load of money. Apparently, Kenny's current um, monies that are available for for the repairs and the fix up within the last 48 hours. The charity for Kenny has raised over 1400 US, which I think is an amazing amount of money, and that's awesome. So yes, that was incredible. And Michael Ann is agreeing she was there, and an amazing amount was raised. So if we can get some more money into there, I know that both Kenny and Pa will be very grateful for that. More importantly, they will be living in a beautiful home that has been very well taken care of, and I think they'll be quite happy. Anyway, news on the Western Front. The Grand Princess apparently, sorry, yes, I believe the Grand Princess apparently arrived into Australia with apparently there were 800 COVID cases on board. So with 800 on board, the truth of the matter is, how many of them were seriously ill that they needed to be totally isolated? How many of them ended up in hospital? Truth of the matter is, actually, not many. They were mild symptoms. For some of them, for most of them, they were asymptomatic. So that's awesome. Michael Ann is saying, "Oh my God, that's crazy." Yep, 800 was a crazy amount. But you know what? Protocols were taken, and percentage wise, considering that there's close to nearly 3,000 people on board, 800 is not a big whack. And if you take into account right now, as we are opening up, our COVID cases are rising. But like you guys, it went down into a slump. So, we're not that serious at this particular point, or worried about it, should I say. Um, Nick is saying he fell asleep and just woke up at 3 a.m. It was meant to be for him to make your. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming aboard. G'day, Jonesy. Welcome aboard, mate. Nice to have you here. How's Tassie today? Is Tassie, I hope, is not as cold as Melbourne. We had 11 degrees today, 13 max. It's currently 11. Um, all right, Devil Dog. Welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you here. Um, you haven't slept yet, or you still waking up? Um, Michael Ann is saying it would be interesting to know how many actually got it from our cruise. Well, that's true. And how many actually got it? Did they actually get it from the cruise, or did they get it from the flights going home? That's an interesting question. Um, Jonesy is saying it's cold, so you must have had less than us. Um, Devil Dog is saying that he hasn't slept yet. Okay. Michael Ann is saying that they're currently at 1C right now, and for you it's Central Time because you're in Canada. So Central Time, I would say your time now is what, three something. So you're going to have a relatively interesting day today, I believe. You'll get into double figures, maybe, like 10, maybe. Um, Devil Dog is yup 3:15 a.m. and Nick is saying it snowed for the first time this season yesterday. Got a fan of Not a fan of the winter, mate. I'm not a fan of winter either, and I have a very good relationship with the snow. My relationship is that I don't touch it and it doesn't touch me. So I think we'll get on famously. I don't know about you, Jonesy, whether where you're at you cop a bit of the snow in the winter, but um, we just can't wait until the summer heat actually gets to us. Then we can thaw out a bit. Um, what can I say? I mean, we've got a bucket load of cruise ships coming in, and I was looking at because I was trying to plan for the itinerary for us to leave in January of 2025 out of Sydney, and there are ships there that have been registered with the Sydney Port Authority, but none of them to this point has an itinerary out as yet. So we're still looking. Nick is saying that it's -3 Celsius where he is. Yeah, that's a bit cool. That's brass monkeys. Jonesy is saying it's 9. That's cold. And Michael Ann is saying, yep, you're going to go up to a whopping 4 degrees C this afternoon. 4 degrees from 1, that's freezing. Michael Ann, please don't forget to take your T-shirt along with you. Jonesy is saying it snowed yesterday in Waratah, Tasmania, where he was working. Seriously? Goodness me! But then again, you are closer to the Antarctic. So what can we say? Tassie is renowned for being a little bit cooler than the mainland. So, but then that's the price you have to pay for living in paradise, my friend. Is it not? Yeah. So, as I was saying, there are about 5 ships laid out or organised to go onto the into the Sydney Harbour round about the first week of January. As yet, we have no itineraries. We have an itinerary on one of them, but we still have to have a look and see how that goes. Nick is saying that it was nice last night. He went to the best restaurant in the town he worked in and had a really nice New York strip steak. That sounds awesome. They also gave you a piece of cake for free as well as a big chocolate chip cookie. Whoa. That's awesome. Jonesy is saying yes and yes. So he agrees with me. And what can I say, it is a paradise. It does have some beautiful scenery there. It also does have some beautiful weather there, but you know what? It is the price you pay. So we're busy, as I was going to say, we're busy searching out an itinerary that would best suit everybody's budget. Cruises right now out of Australia going to the South Pacific, you're looking at between 12 to 14 days. To do New Zealand out of Sydney, we're looking at roughly about the same. So there's going to be some sea days, there's going to be some port days, and there's going to be some sea days. So let's have some fun. Anybody got any cruises coming up in the near future? I know Jonesy's got a really big cruise. It's the Spirit of Tasmania going from Launceston to Geelong, I believe. Okay, so I thought I might give this a try. I mean, we've been having a few challenges here, but I might give this a try and see if we can get this happening. I want to show the video on the new group cruise that's coming out in March. Yes, well, what can we say? It's going to be an awesome cruise. Um, we've got g'day Cookie, welcome aboard. It's morning for you guys, and yes, we've got a cool 13-degree evening going on right now at 2022. Now, for anybody who's just come in and you've seen the group cruise, the Fantastic Studios group cruise, please go ahead, speak to Kimbra. The details are in the description below. Go ahead, see Kimbra, and she will get you sorted for the group cruise. You guys are going to have fun. You're going to spend time with James Catanese and his wife Cindy. I think you're going to have an absolute ball. What can I say? Um, so um, we've got currently the Grand Princess doing things around Australia. We've got the Coral Princess. We've got three P&O cruise ships, which is awesome. We've also got a couple of Carnival ships. So we've got the Carnival Splendor and also the Carnival Luminosa, which was the old Costa ship. We've also got some celebrity ships, and I'm not sure which ones they are. A couple of Holland Americas as well, or one Holland America. I think it's the West Ham that's here. And a couple of others. Cookie, you can't type, mate. All you need to do is just use your nose. That's where he went. For some reason, Melon is not liking my memory upgrades. But as I was saying, Cookie, you can't type. That's okay. Your nose on the keypad will do. You know, the phone or the laptop or whatever it is you're using, that will do. However, we're happy for you to enjoy the show, listen in, and if you do give us any info, we're happy to play the game. Um, Thank you, Michael Ann. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week, the Star Breeze comes into Bernie. Yes, that's going to be an interesting one, because now they're all starting to come back, and they suddenly realise, hey, Australia was a good area. Um, I can promise that I don't work either, or I smell. I like that, Cookie. Don't worry, we still love you, even if you can or can't type. Um, so Starbreeze, as well as I know that you're going to get the Grand Princess go there as well. I know that you're going to get Carnival. One of the Carnival ships is going to go your way. The Coral Princess is also going to go your way. Um, and currently, that's all I've got on hand at the moment. But I will have a look at more later on. Um, yes, so it's all exciting times. We're getting into more cruise ships coming in, and we're getting into more exciting things happening. And in relation to the sea breeze, yep, it's one and the same. But I wanted to make Jonesy feel important, like he is. He is important. A ship left yesterday. Yeah, it would have been. I'm thinking it would have been one of the P&Os. I think it was the P&O, the Pacific Dawn. That one has been doing its run around early. It went up to Adelaide. It was the first ship into Adelaide, and then it did Kangaroo Island, and then would have headed down to you. So, yes, there's a few running. It is running around. Cookie is saying g'day to young Rob, and Jonesy agrees with me. So there we go. Um, now, for those of you that are interested, at the moment we're looking at, there was one ship, one cruise line that came up with an itinerary for January. It was a little bit on the steep side, so we're just having a think about it, and then we'll come back to you with some more, and then we'll then get everything sorted and let you know, so that you guys can plan and put away some dollars for that cruise. Rob is saying that in a couple more months, and it will be time for him to get floaty boaty back onto the water. Awesome. We need floaty boaty back on, because at this rate, the way cruising is going, you'll need to make a bucket load of money. Jonesy is saying they look awesome docking, watching out the front windows. Yeah, they do. It's really quite an exciting thing to watch them dock in there, and yes, especially when, like for example, I can actually sit and watch them docking. If you're looking at Sydney on the camera, that's just at Taronga Zoo, looking over Sydney Harbour, and you watch some of the big ones coming to the overseas passenger terminal. I mean, that's an awesome sight to behold. Devil Dog is saying hit the thumbs up button. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate that. We definitely want to get a whole lot more coming in on Humpday. I know that time does play havoc with you guys across the pond, but for people across on this side of the pond and across the ditch, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So, because our times change together, so just come on in when you can. And also, if you're out in the background, and I know that there are some people who are just checking us out, watching and checking out and not participating, but if you are just watching, please look at the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and share it out. It helps the channel. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. But more importantly, what it does is it gives people like us a face to continue with our voice on our passion that we're voicing. In this case here, it's cruising. So come on in. Rob is saying that you might also find caressing the like button to be just as effective and maybe more fulfilling. You know what, folks? Even if you hit the unlike button and you do it twice, I don't mind. Devil Dog is a Marine. We like hitting better. Yeah, I agree with that. All you need to do is the unlike button. Just hit it twice. That'll help the channel immensely anyway. I know the governor's going to try that. Try hit it twice. I know that. I know that's the way his mind thinks. So he's going to go and try and do it twice. Yes. Well, I think I better have another sip of coffee. It's interesting to watch how different nations have been celebrating the 11th of the 11th. We call it Remembrance Day. You guys across the pond call it Memorial Day. I just find that it's interesting the way people look at it. Okay, Rob is saying that he doesn't hit anybody or anything. He has people for that. Uh, Rob, can you leave work at work and not bring it home? Um, oh, you're talking about different kind of hit. Oh, okay. Whoops. Sorry, mate. Didn't mean to get you under pressure. Canada calls it Remembrance Day as well, and I think most of the British colonials will call it Remembrance. It's only those who are no longer colonials that would call it Memorial. I suppose they've got to remember something, um, but it was actually quite interesting to watch the way things get celebrated. And at the end of the day, from our point of view, we appreciate any service that people have done, past, present, and future. And that service does not go unnoticed by those that count. Now, here's the interesting thing: I'm not talking politics, I'm just looking at what happened today, our time on our news broadcasts. They were talking about Russia accidentally, and I'm putting in inverted commas, accidentally sending a missile over to Poland. Now, with a region like that being uh, unstable, it's doing amazing things for cruising because it's taking all the cruise ships out of the Mediterranean and bringing them down either um, to the US or even to Australia and giving us some great cruising opportunities. So right now, cruising is at a fantastic pace. However, in the future, there's talk that cruising prices will actually go up because the cruise lines need to recover. So we shall see how that goes. Rob is saying technically it's Armistice Day and Remembrance Sunday, at least over here. Yeah, we don't have the 2 days. We're not allowed. Devil Dog says we have 2 days: Memorial Day for those that have fallen in line of service, and Veterans Day for those that have served but are still living. We actually have 2 days too. We have Remembrance Day, which you call Memorial Day, and we also have Anzac Day on the 25th of April, which is rather an interesting day because that commemorates the lives of all the Anzacs, the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. That's what Anzac stands for. Devil Dog is, Cookie is saying, are we talking about November the 11th? We call it Veterans Day. Thank you for clarifying that for me, Cookie. And Devil Dog said one is in May and one is in November. Okay, so for us, Remembrance Day is November, and Anzac Day is in April. So those are our two Memorial Days. And we cannot talk about the offensive cost of travel lately. British Airways are rewriting the rulebook on how and when to change prices. Really? They create the pricing structure for everything in the UK, do they? I find that interesting. Well, we only have one major airline that flies out of Australia, so Qantas dictates what prices they want to charge. But then they compete favourably with the likes of Air New Zealand, Air New Zealand are much more favourable in price cost to them. And the flights are not bad either. I mean, it did take us 19 hours to get from Tampa to Melbourne, but hey, that's life. Yes, so Anzac Day, as I was saying earlier on, is to look at the guys that lost their lives from the Australian New Zealand Army Corps in all the wars. And we have a shrine of remembrance that's built here in Melbourne. The Shrine of Remembrance has a little gap opening, and when the sun goes at 11 o'clock on the 11th day of the 11th hour, a beam of light comes up over a plaque that is there to commemorate Armistice Day, or when the armistice was signed in 1918. And to think about it, folks, it's over 100 years ago that World War One stopped, and we're going into 80 odd years now that World War Two has stopped. And besides giving us our cruise ships back, I don't think we've learnt anything. We're still busy shooting each other. Anyway, enough said. Let's get out of that. Let's talk about happy things. Talk about cruising and traipsing around places like Tasmania. I've actually yet got to get down there. But I want to get there when it's warmer. Yeah, definitely when it's a lot warmer. Um, uh, Having said that, we need to look and see just how um, things are going with the new cruise ships, because there's the new celebration that's due out. I think it'll be in the UK, not due. Actually, it's out in the US right now, sailing. But then there's a couple of other ships that are going to be coming off the production line. And the problem I'm finding with the ships these days is that they're getting so big. There was one of the other channels was doing a special on, I think they were on an Azamara cruise, and they were doing the cruise in the Med, and that cruise ship was just the perfect size to go into all the ports, nice and small. Some of these other new ships, gosh, how do they float? Anyway, it's all exciting stuff. I think the latest technology now is to start building those ships with LNG or PN, or yeah, liquid natural gas. So that's interesting. Rob is saying Carnival Celebration is apparently doing a loop route out of Miami for the next year. Yes, I believe so. And I believe the drawings have just been. There was a ship a couple of years back, just 2019, 2018. We got off it. It was the Sun Princess, and that was sent to the scrap yards. Apparently, a new version of that ship is coming out fairly shortly, and that ship will be about the same size, if not a bit bigger, than the Celebration. So they're starting to build bigger and bigger and bigger ships. I think everybody's suddenly realizing that cruising is a nice way to have a holiday, or a vacation for those of you across the pond. Um, and if you're looking at vacationing or holidaying, I honestly cannot find a better type of holiday. Yes, the starting price does sound like a huge amount, but if you think about it, you are including travel, because that ship goes from place to place. You're including your accommodation. You're including your entertainment. You can eat as much as you like on board ship. Yes, there are specialty dining areas which cost extra, but you don't necessarily have to go to any of them. You can just feed your face in the main dining room, or in the buffet, or at other various other points. You get as much food as you wish. You get as much to drink. It may not be the alcohol variety, and the alcoholic variety might cost you a little bit. But you know what? At the end of the day, what's a couple of beers here or there? Um, Rob's also saying that they won't be exclusive as Floaty Boaty. We can offer a private two-seat cruise. Must be a bathtub. Um, Mark-Elaine is saying she liked the size of the horizon. You know what, Mark-Elaine? Um, Ilana and I both find that the likes of the Horizon are getting a bit on the big side, whereas the smaller ships, they're a little bit more intimate. Possibly a ship that handles up to 2,000 people is just big enough. But a ship that has 5 and 6 and 8,000 people on board, man, that's huge. It's a city. You basically got to find your way through the city. So I'm not knocking it. You know what? I would like to have a look at the wonder of the seas, have a sail on it and see what it's like. But at the end of the day, um, you take what you can get. Um, the cruise lines have to either put the prices up or make the prices such that the masses can actually go, and that that's what it's all about. Mark-Elaine is saying that she's meaning she doesn't know if she'd want to go bigger. She'd definitely go smaller. Yes, I can understand that. That makes sense to me. Cookie is agreeing that yes, it's floating cities. Not that there's anything severely wrong with a floating city, but you know what? It's nice to have a little bit more for less. As Rob says, he prefers small craft, happy to pay a little bit more for less overall headcount. Yep, I agree with that. It's fun either way you look at it. Um, but to be honest, cruising has got to be the best way I find of being able to. I mean, look, you get to go and look at a place on a cruise ship. It gives you the opportunity to assess. Okay, for example, a cruise out of Melbourne circumnavigating New Zealand. You stop in maybe 5 or 6 ports. You have a look at those ports, and then you can make a decision. Do you want to go back there, or do you want to go and find somewhere else? And if you do decide, hey, you'd like to go back there, then you can do a land tour. Go jump in a motorhome and you just drive around and have a look and spend time. It's a good way to give you first looks, I think. Cookie's going, nothing wrong with the city, but he prefers Midwest sunsets. Yeah, a Midwest sunset, out in the bush somewhere, watching the sun rise and set, does have amazing things. The view is just exquisite. I personally would prefer to see the sun go down on a horizon that's covered by water. It just relaxes me and sends me home. I think that's just amazing. Rob is saying they could make transatlantic shuttling a more financially viable option. He'd trade it for airfares. Yeah. The hopeful news is that they don't put you on something like the Titanic, but the good news then is, it's what, 9 days or 14 days on a cruise ship. It just slows the pace down. That's my opinion. You want to just slow the pace down. A ship doesn't go anything faster than maybe 12 knots, 12 to 15 knots, which is plenty fast enough. When we were on the Horizon this time, we had a cove balcony. We were on the second deck. We could almost put our hand out and touch the water. It was just that awesome. Got the splash every time. It hit a wave and the bow split the water. We would get the splash from the front, and it was awesome. Just get the splash of the ocean on your face. But yeah, it is what it is. You get what you can get. So my opinion is have fun and enjoy life. Life is short. If you can manage it, get a trip of a freighter, different world, and dangerously addictive. On a freighter, As what? You'd need to. You couldn't just do a cruise on a freighter. You'd need to do something different. Cookie says he was in the U.S. Coast Guard for 8 years, seen a lot of sunrises and sunsets on the ocean. I can imagine. U.S. Coast Guard must have been a very interesting situation, particularly when you were catching little rowboats coming across from places like Cuba and so forth. Um, Folks, I'm going to do an old tradition. I'm going to ask you, please, in the chat, hashtag creator or hashtag supporter. If you can do that, that would be excellent, because then people who don't know who is a creator, you can go back and check their channel out and learn some more content. Rob is saying that you can buy passage on them, have to be flexible with times, but they are popular with a lot of travelers. Well, that's interesting. Are they a lot cheaper? Michael Ann is a hashtag creator, hashtag supporter. Thank you, Michael Ann. And whereabouts? How would you find out if they were able to supply you with passage? Rob is saying hashtag creator, hashtag supporter, hashtag the Gov. You should start up a channel called the Gov. G'day, Troy. How you doing, mate? Have you just woken up, or have you not been to sleep? Troy's a hashtag supporter and an amazing supporter. Also, the first recipient of the Helping Hands for Cruising Popomozo Award. That was quite interesting. Rob is saying that there are websites that specialize in them. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Cookie, Sean, I did 2 cruises in the Caribbean, mid-patrol break in Puerto Plata, Dominican. Yeah. Jonesy's a hashtag creator, hashtag supporter. And guys, you got to go and pick up on Radio Jonesy. He has some great stuff there. A lot of Jonesy's genre is music, and so he plays music from. Should I tell them, Jonesy? Well, Jonesy's a musician anyway. He plays the drums, and he has done plenty of stuff with music creators. So have a look at his channel. Have a listen. There's some awesome stuff in there. Troy saying good day to Michael Ann, and chat is going backwards, vice versa. That's great. Love it when people say good day to each other. Yes, so have some fun. Enjoy that stuff. Also, Devil Dog, if he's around or if he hasn't gone to sleep, his channel is awesome too. He does a lot of military info and questions, and if you're into that sort of stuff, go there and have a look at that as well. The governor, he has friends who work freighters regularly and fill the empty cabins with travelers. Last he saw, he could go UK, EU, USA, one way in 10 days from around £200. Prices are subject to change. Who actually sets the pricing? Is it the cruise line, or not the cruise line? Is it the freighting line, or is it the cruises on the day? Rob is saying he has a giveaway video coming out later on this week. That's awesome. What are you giving away? Shipping line. Thank you, mate. That was the word I was looking for. Shipping line. So it's the shipping line that actually provides the pricing. 10 days, $2,000. Cookies agreeing, much cheaper on the freighters, but you don't get the niceties of the cruise lines, though, do you? You don't get. The meals you have on the freighters are generally in the normal mess, along with all the cruise workers. Would that be correct? Um, okay, so as we head up to the hour, I'm going to ask you folks to please consider looking at Kenny's, what was it, Michael Ann? Let me just have a look further up and I will find uh, Kenny's Kingsport project. Please check that Facebook page out and see what's going on. Cookie is going, you might be surprised, Sean, they don't eat that bad. Yeah, I know, they don't eat bad at all. Jonesy has a friend who travels on cargo vessels and says it's a nice way to travel. Awesome. The governor's going, freighters are pretty well equipped for entertainment. You hang out with the crew and get to experience stuff you can't get elsewhere. Most freighters have fully trained chefs now. Oh, that's good, because you wouldn't want me to cook. Yep. So please go and check out Kenny's Kingsport project. Please help him out and check him out. There's only good things that can happen from this. Also, please get in touch with Kimbra from Fantastic Cruising if you want to look at their group cruise in March. That would be awesome. And I'm going to finish this off a bit early today, only because we've had the most strenuous couple of days at work, and I also want to make sure that everything is safe. Rob is saying that he reckons he could find one all the way from him to Oz. Mate, if you could do that, that would be awesome. You get yourself on a couple of cruises, come down to Oz, do whatever you need to do, be on our group cruise, and then sail home. Having said that, I'm going to wish you guys all a great week. And we shall see you again on Friday night. For those of you across the pond, Friday night at 10 p.m., which will be 2 p.m. our time Saturday. Have an awesome day, folks. Have an awesome time. And we shall catch you in the next stream. Take care. Stay safe.